Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars. My name is Colin,
And my name is Matt.
and
What's up,
it's
Colin?
the OG Michigan boys.
Yo,
I'm just
Hoss
kidding.
Squadron in the house, even though we're in
Heck
Scarif.
yeah.
It's
Uh,
cool. It is what
a
it
lot of
is.
people are on vacation.
Yeah, I
Because
took a solo trip to Animal Kingdom and Epcot today
I
for like a
saw
couple
that.
hours.
Saw in your
Just to
story.
I was like, I was out and about and I was like, let me just go do this real quick. So I went there for like 2 hours. A lot of people. There was like a big group of people going in. But like a huge like group, like a school or something like that on a some kind of like trip or something like that, but for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the day that this is released, it's going to be on July 4th. So happy America Day.
Happy
Woo!
America Day.
All right.
America
Well,
Day. I'm
with
sorry I'm
that
not
being
wearing my
said,
patriotic
let's
gear.
let's let's just go into the news because
Do-do-do-do.
there's
Let's talk
a
about some
decent
Star
amount to
Wars
talk
stuff.
about. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about how Commander Cody was supposed to be in the Kenobi series, and then he was cut.
He's cute.
So Matt, why was he cut?
Why was I don't exactly know the answer why he was cut, but I know what was supposed to take place if he had shown up into it. And I was reading an article that was posted on the Direct website. Like no, the Direct. That's the name of the website, not the Direct website. Um, in an article that was interviewed by Stuart Beatty. And he talked about basically like what would have happened had Cody been in it, and I'll just read it word for word. He said, "Yeah, Cody was the big one. I love the idea of Obi-Wan having a buddy on Tatooine, like a secret buddy. So like the first time he goes into town, you see Cody, and he's following him through the streets and attacks him, takes him into an alley with a knife to his throat, and says, 'You're dead.'" And then you realize, oh no, Cody is making a point. Like, come on, you got to be more careful. And then he goes on to say that you realize, oh, Cody has now morphed into someone who has been trying to kill him the last time we see him, to someone who has been devoting his life to protect him, because now he has had his inhibitor chip taken out. That happens in between the events of Revenge of the Sith and now. And I guess we'll see him in season 2 of the Bad Batch. So I guess in between that and this. But he says, "Oh my God, what I did was so wrong." He says he's driven by guilt, as much as Obi-Wan has been driven by guilt. So you get to see these two kind of old warriors bickering like old married couple, bleeping out about God. It was just so much better when we had an army at our backs. That was a quote by Stuart, and he was talking about the relationship that was supposed to go under or happen between the two of them as Cody was on Tatooine, and it was actually said that there was supposed to be a B plot between Commander Cody and Luke, because when Obi-Wan Kenobi was not supposedly, when he left Tatooine to go save Leia, it was he actually left Commander Cody in charge of the safety of Luke, and he was going to have some sort of B-rolls going on between the two of them and their relationships. And I just thought it was that it would be an interesting story, but one that obviously did not play out. One that we didn't see happen, but I'm sure a lot of our prequel fans and fans of the Clone Wars series would be very open to it happening. And I think that I don't know exactly why it wasn't a story that played out. Do you happen to know that answer? Because I don't.
I'm so in the article, I really didn't see anything. I'm guessing that because we know it had nothing to do with Mara Morrison, because we see him in the show as a clone. So it's like he definitely wanted to be more involved. So we knew it had nothing to do with that. I'm thinking because of they really wanted to have the Reva character in there. I think that's mainly why Commander Cody didn't really have an appearance in the show. And I think that in the Bad Batch season 2, he would play a larger role. And I think maybe they wanted more time to focus on Cody in the Bad Batch because the Bad Batch is mainly about clones, right? If you put him in a Kenobi series and you kind of give him a Clone Wars storyline, to me, it would make more sense to have it in the Bad Batch and not in Kenobi because they already took a lot of focus off of Kenobi because of Reva. And if they also had Cody in there and they had like a different plot that involved Cody a lot, I think that would have kind of stole the thunder even more. Because already having Reva in there stole a lot of not Kenobi's thunder, but more of the whole show is about Kenobi, and Reva definitely got a lot of spotlight in that show.
So actually, I embarrassingly, I didn't read the second part of this article. I didn't know there's like a continue reading part, and it actually it does answer why he wasn't in it. So
let's
I'll
hear
just
it.
yeah. Okay. So basically, when they asked Beatty about why he wasn't in the Obi-Wan series, he said that could be speculated that Tamora Morrison's availability had a lot to do with it. Having him being busy with the Boba Fett series was one of the primary concerns, as well as the producers thinking that the B plot line with Luke and Cody would be a little bit too much for the content and the viewers. So I think that was definitely one of the reasons why why they decided to do that. Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
that answers that question. Yeah.
Okay. Well, like we said, we are definitely going to see Cody in the Bad Batch series. I think going back to those characters is great. I think it would have been great fan service to see Cody in live action again, but at the same time, I think that if we did get that story plot that you were talking about for him in Kenobi, I think, and adding, everything that was happening with Reva, I think that would have been a lot. But I'm hoping that we get a big storyline between Rex and Cody and Bad Batch, and I got a feeling it's going to be sad, because those two are brothers, and one's on the other side, and the other one is, he's on the Empire.
I do also feel like the plot line that would have taken place in the Kenobi series might be conflicting with what happens in the Bad Batch, because we obviously don't know what happens to Cody after Order 66 as of right now. We do not know what takes place in season 2 of the Bad Batch involving Cody, but had something come out in the Obi-Wan series involving Kenobi, or not Kenobi, Cody having his inhibitor chip taken out, but then there is a conflicting plot line that takes place in the Bad Batch, that would be a really messy situation. And I don't know if maybe those two different production teams were communicating with each other, because I mean, Dave Filoni did have his hands all over the Bad Batch, and he was on set for the Kenobi series. So I think that maybe he also had some input as to what was happening between those two characters, because following different Star Wars characters' timelines in a franchise that goes back and forth in the timeline often it's difficult to keep up with, because Star Wars likes to go back and forth. Like I talked about in the Clone Wars commentary that I just recorded for our Patreon. If you don't follow our Patreon, definitely go follow our Patreon. We're super cool about that. But I will say that there are prequels to prequels to prequels all over the place, and going back and forth between timelines is very confusing. And if you're not an avid Star Wars fan, it's easy to get lost in the mix of the mud that is the Star Wars timeline. And like people are like, what's BBY or what's ABY and stuff like that, and I have to explain it to non-Star Wars fans.
I have to explain it.
It's not a burden. I always love to give information about the Star Wars universe to people that are asking questions, especially those that don't know anything about it. And I'm like, yeah, you want to know more, it's great. But what I'm really concerned about is, or not, because I'm not concerned because it didn't happen, but I think it was a main concern when it was being discussed, is that Cody has all these fingers in all of these pies, as a way to say it. But I think essentially what it came down to is Cody couldn't be in this series, A, because Tamara was busy, and B, because the plot line of Cody is too unestablished, especially in live action.
Right.
So I guess they just didn't want to touch it. It was too hot yet. You still had to let it cool off,
And that's why I'm excited to see that story unfold in the Bad Batch, because of that story has not been fully revealed, and that's something everyone's been interested in. And I love when characters like this have a lot of love and a lot of fandom, because before the Clone Wars came out, Cody honestly was on screen for maybe less than 5 minutes, and then he grew in the Clone Wars TV show, and a lot of people love Rex, but I don't think Cody gets enough love. So
Clone Wars does it a lot. They
Yeah.
they'll take a character like Kit Fisto that has
Oh
30
my gosh,
seconds,
yeah.
and then they'll just make a whole plot line, a whole series, and it's just crazy what they do with that, because you see it a lot with like prequels characters that get very little screen time whatsoever, and then like even like the character that George Lucas like cameoed in Revenge of the Sith, like they like made a whole thing out of that. They're like, let's go deeper into this. Let's talk.
Unfortunately, he didn't come in and voice him, which I think would have been amazing. But he did have his likeness, which I think was really cool.
Right. He definitely did.
But yeah, so we'll definitely see more of Cody and the Bad Batch, and that story is going to be really exciting. And then before the Bad Batch, we've got the new series coming out on August 31st, and that is the wonderful show of Andor.
Ba-ba-da-da.
And what's crazy about that weekend, which this is something Matt and I were recently talking about, is not only is Andor coming out that weekend, but the premiere of the Lord of the Rings Rings of Power is coming out that same weekend, including
like the perfect storm nerd.
The prequel series of Game of Thrones. And
we called it the perfect nerd storm because and we were also talking about the fact that Dragon Con will be happening at that time consecutively at the same time. So like thousands of nerds in one city, while 3 different like major.
There will be a
lot
to. There's going to be a lot to do that weekend, and I'm super excited for it. But Andor, from the trailer, from the panel that we were at, I'm very excited for it. It's something new. It's something old, but there's nothing blue. No, I'm just kidding. But I am very, very excited for it because Rogue One was such a great series. And the fact that we get to come back to this character, Cassian Andor, and explore a darker side of the rebellion that we kind of saw in Rogue One, because I remember that one scene where Cassian and the other defector are trying to escape, and the guy's like, "Oh no, we'll never climb out of here," and then Cassian just shoots him to kind of delay the stormtroopers going after him. Like, oh my gosh,
crazy.
I was like, wow,
lose this dead weight real quick.
Yeah,
like,
and I think we're definitely going to see more of that in the show, and I think we're going to see more politics, which we haven't seen any politics since the prequels and including in the Clone Wars. And I think that's definitely going to bring a lot of prequel fans back because, as some people say, I didn't like the prequels because of the politics and everything.
Now, let me preface this. The Star Wars Stuff podcast is not talking about politics currently. We're talking about a Star Wars series.
Star Wars politics.
Talking about Star Wars politics. I think that is a good distinction I wanted to make.
Thank you for that. Because we're talking about the Galactic Empire.
Yes.
Of where it is Alderaan. It is Palpatine. Which again, we're probably going to see Ian McDiarmid. We're also going to see the Empire in its early stages, and then later through the series, we'll see it during its prime. But I'm excited to see the Emperor back in the Senate and just being the Emperor. I am excited to see more perspectives of the Empire, because this is such a dark time, and it's interesting that Disney is diving into this time period, because we have not seen them really dive deep into that 20-year gap from Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope until these past couple of years. Now Star Wars Rebels definitely did, but that was the only thing. And then we got Jedi Fallen Order.
I feel like Star Wars Rebels ended too quickly. Like there was more there that we could have done.
And we are pretty much getting season 5 with the Ahsoka series.
Yeah. But we should probably talk about we could talk about a little bit about the writers that were. Yeah. I don't know. We didn't talk about it before, but there is the two brothers. We have our boy Dan Gilroy, and we have Tony Gilroy, and then we have Stephen Schiff. I don't know. I don't remember. But like Dan Gilroy, you may have he had his hands on as a screenplay writer for parts of the Bourne Legacy, Kong Skull Island, definitely a cool one. What else did he do? Two for the Money. You ever see that one with who's in Two for the Money? Matthew McConaughey and Rene Russo. No.
Oh, I think I might have, like, a while ago.
He's kind of like a bike messenger or something like that.
Okay.
And what has Tony done? That's Tony has done Rogue One, of course. We saw him as a writer for Rogue One and a producer as well. And he did writing for also the Bourne Identity, Supremacy, and Legacy. He did not Legacy. He didn't do Legacy. He did Ultimatum. He was a screenplay writer and screen story writer. No, he did Bourne Legacy. Yeah, he did all 4. Yeah. Okay, I knew I was right.
There's a lot going on here.
He's done a lot of stuff. He's been a writer on I think 20 plus projects, and he's been a producer on maybe half a dozen of them.
I think the Andor series is in great hands. I'm hoping that. Well, first off, we know it's going to. Something that I realized is if something is confirmed for a second season before the first season even comes out, you know that most likely it's going to be good.
I mean, when you have a face like this running the show, like this guy, but Diego Luna is such. I mean, we talked about a little bit about his experience at Star Wars Celebration, but this guy's great. I think that he is a very strong candidate to be a running man or a leading man in a series like this. And I know David talked about how fond he was of him as a Latino actor. I think he was talking about, and representing his community in such a positive light. And he's such a good, strong-hearted individual, and not just as a strong actor, but as a person, he's just a great guy. So yeah, 2 seasons just being announced right off the bat like that. 12 episodes each, 2 seasons taking place over 5 years leading up to Rogue One. I'm pumped.
I am excited because we are also going to be seeing more of Coruscant in live action, and it's something I've been wanting for such a long time. So I'm glad that we're going back to Coruscant, and that's definitely confirmed in the trailer that we got at Celebration. So I'm very, very excited for Andor, and it's going to be a wonderful, crazy ride. But in other news, for another project, Taika has stated that
you don't want to say his last name.
No, I'm so disappointed. No, because I'm going to stutter on it. But he is unsure. I hate that he's saying this, but he's unsure if his Star Wars movie is ever going to happen. And if a director is saying that, that's not a good sign. And this is something that we definitely had a debate on our Patreon daily. And
If you don't follow our Patreon, follow Star Wars Stuff Patreon at
Yes.
2187.
And I'm disappointed because he's such a great director. But if a director is saying this, and not only that, it's like this project was announced a while ago. And if he doesn't make the deadline, and even though he's not making the deadline that that Kathleen Kennedy set up for him, which was supposed to be next December, yeah, that's kind of disappointing. And not only that, it makes sense because he's got all these projects. But it's sad to me because he's been saying, you know, I've got all of these other projects. I'm gonna put Star Wars on the shelf so I can focus on these projects. And then he comes up with this statement, and I was just like, okay, all right, man, I get you're a busy guy, and he's a great director, he's a great actor, but Star Wars deserves full attention. It doesn't.
What's the name of that series that you were talking about? The pirate one, like Our Flag something.
James is gonna be mad at me because I don't know it. Because if I
Our Flag means death.
Yes, that's the one. I never really heard of it. I know it's an HBO Max, but apparently it's good. Is what James said. I guess I'm gonna have to
a lot of stuff
check
that
it out.
Does is pretty great.
Yeah,
but he doesn't. I mean, he's more of a. I mean, I think he has some like screen parts on it, but he mostly was like on the productions aspect of it. Yeah, I haven't seen it either, so I don't have any opinion of it. But I know it has something to do with like Blackbeard and like I don't know. That's pretty much it. That's all I got. Takes place in like the 1700s or something like that. But I mean, the I don't know. I'm just like going through his IMDb. Maybe I can look at it right there. But he's got like Time Bandits and Frybeard, Face and Me are both announced in production or post production. We Are Wolves. He's got three projects that are being worked on currently.
I know, but what bums me out is Star Wars was announced before any of these projects, and he's not making it priority, which he should. And Star Wars should be the main priority if you're hired. And it just kills me to see it, like in this situation. But the quote,
with Thor: Love and Thunder too.
Yeah, the quote that he gave the New York Times was, "I'm trying to write the Star Wars idea at the moment. I've got to see how that goes because once I submit it, that might determine when it gets made or if it gets made even. If you're gonna have that attitude about a Star Wars project, then I think you should just move on because Star Wars should be a main priority. And that's what's been happening with Rian Johnson and his trilogy. He has found, other things over priority than what he was set out to do. And I think The Last Jedi definitely had something to do with that. And if he wants to move on, then he can move on. That is definitely the director's choice, but you should never sign up for a project and then while you're working on that project, put other things over priority over that number one project that you committed to first. I think that's the biggest thing to me.
And I should apply that logic to my cosplay costuming.
Yes, you should. And I just, it disappoints me because it would be a great film, but the fact that he's just like, even if it gets made, I'm just like, nah, dude. If you're gonna have that attitude, then you should just throw in the towel and leave. I just don't think that it's fair to have this opportunity and then be like, all right, I'm going to put all these other projects over priority of this one. And I understand that it takes time to come up with ideas and everything. Trust me, I know. But it's the fact that he said that might determine when it gets made or even if it gets made, like made even. And it's like, okay, so that to me sounds like you're not committed. So if you're not committed to it, then you should just bail and find something else to do. I'm sorry. Some people will probably disagree with me. That's fine. but I'm just saying, if you're working on Star Wars and this is something that came to you first before these other projects, then you should, really look into it. And yes,
Yeah, where's the right of dibs in production, man? Like, where's that at? Because I think we had dibs as a Star Wars community to him first. And if not us, then MCU, as Korg.
Mob Rule says getting flashbacks to the Patreon debate that James, David, and I had. And Danny's like, feels like he's joking. To be honest, are you talking about Taika? Or are you talking about me?
Oof, good question.
I'm not joking. I'm deadly serious.
I'm serious.
I don't think he's joking. Because he's been saying this for a bit. Because he's very serious about these other projects. He's barely talked about it, about Star Wars, and it's kind of following the same pattern that that Rian Johnson did when he was okay, cool. He is talking about
phasing out.
He is following the same pattern that Rian Johnson did when he was working on the trilogy. I think it's because he found other projects that he's been doing for a bit, and because of Rian Johnson is such an artistic director, and that's what he's great at. And I think what happened with The Last Jedi kind of shook the way that he, approached new type of style of film. So I think maybe that's why Rian Johnson was kind of like iffy about it, and including scheduling everything, of course. But for Taika, I don't know why he's doing this, because it's sad to me, because he is such a great director and he is such a great actor. I just don't like that you're putting something back on the shelf and you start working on new projects when Star Wars was put on your desk first. That's my biggest thing about this whole situation. But yeah, so I guarantee.
Good solid rant. Good solid.
Yeah, I guarantee David, James, and I will have another debate about this. But yeah,
we only have healthy debates on the Star Wars Stuff podcast. That's all we do.
Yeah. But let's talk about something very interesting and exciting. Well, if you have this enough in your pocket, but there's something called the Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge, and this is a lounge on the Disney Cruise Line ship, the Wish, and it's very, very cool. And there's this cocktail that comes in help me say it, Matt. I'm gonna stutter on it. It is.
I don't know the name of it.
It's called the Komodo. Yeah.
Isn't that like a Japanese robe? Don't hold me on that. Kimono. That's a kimono.
Thank you.
I'm not good.
But what's don't patronize me.
I'm not patronizing you. I think a kimono is a Japanese robe. I think a komodo.
Oh wait. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I messed up. It's pronounced Kamtono.
Okay.
It's spelled
like a kimono.
Camtono. Don't ask the kid that stutters to pronounce this. I can't do it. But I
didn't do anything.
But so it's called the Kyber Crystal drink, and it's 4-in-1, as it comes with a cocktail and 3 shots, and it's served in the thing from the Mandalorian that's called a Camtono. Which, if you're a big Star Wars fan, it's the old ice cream machine scene carried by Wilbur Hood in Empire Strikes Back, but it's mainly known now as from The Mandalorian. But what's nice about it is that not only does it come with all that stuff, it also comes with a voucher for one person to visit the Vineyard, which is located at Skywalker Ranch. And you also get a Star Wars backpack, a water bottle, other gifts, and a hyperspace themed room decoration, as well as a themed escort off the ship. Though additional details about the escort are unknown because I don't think anyone's bought it yet. But yeah, that is the $5,000 drink. So you're not just paying for the drinks; you are paying for multiple things. It sounds like, and it's not where you get to fully go out to Kamatono. I think someone was saying that I wasn't doing it right, and I was like, "Yeah, I know." But yeah, no. So I think if it was because that's almost the same price as the Galactic Star Cruiser, and it's a drink involved with another Star Wars experience combined. Do you think the drink would be worth it, Matt? Or are you just gonna sit there in silence? No, it's fine. Nothing. Okay. But yeah, no, I think that I think the drink would definitely be worth it. If if maybe we actually got to go to Skywalker Ranch, I think that would be cooler in my opinion. I'm hoping that we get more stuff like that in the future. And then oh yeah. And then also the Bounty Hunter experience is going to be happening very, very soon over at Disney World at Hollywood Studios, not Disneyland. Hollywood Studios is finally getting something. Yay! And not only that, it's exclusive to Hollywood Studios, and it will not be going to California, it sounds like. Yes, I think Matt's stream got hit by Jawas. I think they were scavenging. But I'm excited for that because Disneyland has been getting a lot of exclusives and Hollywood Studios has not. So I'm excited to see more of the info to drop soon because Matt Martin posted on his Instagram that he was just here. So there's a lot more to happen, which is super, super exciting. I'm looking forward to more of all this new Star Wars stuff to drop. We are going to be filming more of the Sabak Talk coming up here this weekend, and we also have been doing. Yeah, Matt. I don't know what happened, man. All the fans freaked out. You know, it's fine. It's okay. No, I'm just kidding. But I am excited to do more Star Wars things, and so Bach Talk is going to be happening this weekend. Matt unfortunately won't be able to make it. I'll be hosting it, and he'll be on the next one. But we are doing more Twitch. We just did a stream for Ewok Hunt. That was fun, and then we kind of turned into heroes versus villains. And we are definitely getting more people on there. There's Dragon Con is the next big con. Some of us may be there, like maybe. And that's going to be a big weekend. So it sounds like the next big thing happening at Star Wars Guides is going to be Andor. And that is 2 months away. That's super, super exciting.
Timing is of the essence. Patience is all we need. I feel like I think about Star Wars content at this point the same way a lot of people think about like football season. Like I saw this post like today, like, oh my gosh, this is the last month. We have to go without football until March of 2023. And I'm like,
how do you think Star Wars fans feel?
You guys can't go without football for that long? Jeez. I waited 9 years for another Star Wars film. Okay. You can relax.
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah. Exactly. I want more Star Wars, man. I want more. And we have a lot on the way, but it just feels like it's so far away. And I think what's nice about when we get to the fall season, we've got hang on. Wait, off
My
topic,
stream
Colin.
did not get hit by Jawas.
Did you know we have a Star Wars pod friend that works at MGM Studios? I don't know what MGM Studios is. Wink, wink.
I was gonna
But
be like,
I don't
what?
know who you're talking about, bro. I don't know who you're talking about, RFB. But yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, no.
Interesting.
In the fall, we've got a lot of Star Wars. We got Tales of the Jedi, we've got Bad Batch, and we've got Andor, and they're all happening around the same time, and they'll definitely overlap. It sounds like.
Did you talk
that's-
about how ludicrous it is that people were advertising that beverage as the market thing?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. There are a lot of fan pages, a lot of fact pages
I bet it correct a
that-
lot of people.
that are just saying the drink's $5,000, and then they're not saying exactly what comes with it. And I again, that's like a clickbait thing, and I think that's dumb. And
I know a lot about clickbait.
yes, we do, but we're not going to talk about that.
No, we don't do clickbait.
No. But yeah, no, there are a lot of pages that have been doing a lot of clickbait, and
Here at the
that
Star Wars Stuff
have been
podcast,
false.
we like honesty, and
We love
like
honesty.
we love our viewers to get the full truth, and we give them unaltered Star Wars facts that are unpolitical and unbiased.
And we don't give you false hope.
We give you a new hope.
Oh, trademark. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, but yeah, no.
I'm gonna put
wait,
that on a
hang on.
t-shirt.
Are we?
Okay.
Okay, RFB. I was kidding. I know what the MGM studio was. That was the old name of Hollywood Studios, and then they changed the name to Hollywood.
We literally work there. All right.
Yes,
We have this under
Yeah.
control.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Mob Rule says Amazon bought MGM. I thought, yeah, but yeah, no, yeah, it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. There is a lot more stuff coming our way in the next couple of months. More live action, more diving deep into the Star Wars universe, and I guess we can't forget about the other addition to the Star Wars universe, which would be the Star Wars the Star Wars Lego Vacation Special, where it's got Weird Al and Max Rebo.
This is like the third podcast in a row you've talked about this.
I know, because it's great, because I think Max Rebo and Weird Al need to do a whole album. And I
Correction, I think we have slight Star Wars biases, but it's whatever. It's okay.
But yeah, that's really everything to talk about. Don't worry, the normal people will be back next week.
Normal people. Are you saying
Yeah.
that I'm abnormal, Colin Weaver?
Yes, I am, because I am also abnormal.
Well, that's literally how we got our jobs. So
Exactly. But
Right.
with that being said, we've got Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we have our own Gmail. And we also have Audible. Matt, talk about Audible.
I can't read, so I can't.
Okay.
So, I mean, we talked about this a little bit before, and I think you guys mention it on our
Yes.
literature review podcast a little bit.
Yes.
But on our Patreon, we have a lot of upcoming content that is related to Star Wars literature, as well as other things. And a good way to get into that, if you haven't already and you want to, is first of all becoming a Patreon member. Second of all, it is following our Audible trial and then going to audibletrial.com/stuff podcast to get a free book on us, courtesy of Audible Trial. Just put in the key code Stuff Podcast, and you can get anywhere from classics like the Obi-Wan Kenobi book, or you can get something as new as what Colin and Mason and who else was a part of that podcast, whatever they just did a book review on, and you can participate firsthand. You can see what they're talking about because it's in front of you on a screen. You can have
Yeah.
it read to you while you're in the car, while you're working out. You can even do it while you're walking your lizard.
You're doing a great ad job, bro.
Thank you,
I'm
man.
very proud of you.
I do my best.
Sponsorship.
Yeah.
But yeah,
More to come.
definitely check out Audible. There's a lot of great stuff on there. I highly recommend.
It's
the
great for
Darth-
people like me who don't like to read or have too much ADHD to read, because they do it audibly. That's the name. So it's a great feature. I love it.
I highly recommend the Darth Plagueis novel. It's not canon technically anymore, but it's a good Star Wars read for sure.
That's how I read the Light of the Republic book, which is so amazingly done. The narrator that takes care of it, they have all kinds of like sound clips and different things that really bring the story to life, and that is true with all of the different titles and projects that Audible features on their website. And you can only get that with a free book by going to audibletrial.com/stuff podcast. So without anything else we have to talk about, is there? I don't think so. I think I'm good.
No. Again, we are on Instagram at Star Wars Stuff Podcast. We're on Twitter at Stuff Pod, TikTok. Search for Star Wars Stuff Podcast. Our Facebook group, we have a good community on there. We all love. We
post a lot of funny Star Wars content.
Yeah,
family friendly Star Wars content, but
we love you. Yeah, and then
course.
we have Twitch. We're on Twitch a lot.
We are on Twitch a lot.
Yeah.
We're doing it more. We haven't done it a lot recently just because we've been a lot busy with our lives. But we're gonna be doing a lot of streamings. If you are a gamer and you want to play with us, that is another opportunity to do so, is via our stream. You could send us a PM to our email at the Star Wars Stuff Podcast at gmail.com if you want to request any future topics that you would wish us for talk about. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, or if you want to be featured on our Twitch stream, these are all ways you can this is the way that you do it. You talk to us through our email. So if you want to talk to us about anything, that's the way you do it. I think that's all I got. That's all I got. Anything else?
No. We would not be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you so much for listening. We hope that you have a great 4th of July, and the Force will. Audible.
What?
And the Force will be with you
always. Love you.